Does your vision for business match what you see happening on a daily basis? Welcome to Jim White's Circle of Success show, where Jim White brings it all together. For over 30 years, Jim White has worked with organizations and individuals worldwide to help develop and implement excellence. You'll get the inside story on how to create innovative leaders from one corner of your company to the other. Get everyone on your team contributing to the bottom line. Keep building revenue, even when the economy and your customers have flatlined, and more. Jim White's Circle of Success show covers it all, from communication to contract negotiation, from personal fulfillment to revving up cash flow. It's not about theories, it's about showing what works and how to make it work for you. And now, here's your host, Jim White.
Welcome to the show, everyone. My name's Jim White. I'm your host, and I hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving. As we complete the Thanksgiving holiday, we move into this hyper speed, if you will, preparing for Christmas holidays. You're getting busy and making that list of the stuff that you need to buy. You are deciding on those parties that you need to, or you think you need to attend. You're balancing all of the stress that the holiday season brings. You then go out and spend your last dollar on the stuff that you decided you needed to buy. Then you take your plastic and you buy more stuff. And then the holidays conclude, New Year arrives, and the credit card statement arrives. Does that sound familiar? Well, we have two wonderful guests today, Dr. Rick Moss, and we're going to talk about in the first three segments titled Riches Within. And that core self is your real gift, and it is your infinite bank account. Dr. Moss is going to be with us, and we're going to talk about what it is and what it is not. We're going to take this quick break, and right after this message, we're going to be back with Dr. Moss, and you're viewing KYMB TV, Comcast Channel 19, and we'll be right back.
That is brought to you by 12 O'Clock High Leadership and Management Summit. 12 O'Clock High is one of the undisputed best movie classics of all time. It is also one of the best business learning tools available. The movie rated #1 by top executives for its influence on their management styles. Now, the inspiration of the 12 O'Clock High Leadership and Management Summit, an innovative one-day event and 30-day follow-up where you will quickly see what's working and not working on the front lines of your company and in your own leadership style. Learn more at 12high.com. That's 12high.com.
Welcome back. Our guest, Dr. Rick Moss, is with us today, and as I said prior to the break, we're going to talk about riches within, what it means, what it is, and what it is not. Rick, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Jim. I'm really pleased to be here.
Riches within. When we were exchanging emails preparing for the show today, when I saw your email where it says riches within, our core self, and I added a word in there, I hope you don't mind. I said our gift, which our core self is our gift, and it's our infinite bank account.
Yes.
Well, what do we mean about riches within?
I think the best place to start to describe it is that there is within us experienceable, realizable, practical, a source of creativity, a source of security, a source of wisdom, abundance, love, peace, and that this exists within us like an inherent nature. But like a bank account, it doesn't do you any good unless you're making a withdrawal.
You know, you and I have done other programs together.
We have.
And they've all been phenomenal. And you have such a gift share a little bit about your background to set a foundation for what we're going to be talking about, because my favorite word, drill down on this subject more. So, your background is you have a PhD in education, right?
I do, from the University of Texas at Austin.
University of Texas. And then you spent about 20 years in the meditation transformational field?
Absolutely. I taught transcendental meditation for about 20 years. I came to a point where experiencing this deep silence, this transcendence, this peace, where I realized that it wasn't enough to change the deep patterns. The deep patterns such as who I am is not enough, things that happen in childhood that make us doubt our lovability. These patterns didn't seem to change just by experiencing the transcendent, the source of thought, this deep peace. It wasn't enough. I had to find then a way to release the patterns, and then I set out to develop this work that I call precog, because it deals with the subconscious. It's precognitive.
Off air, we were talking about numbers of unemployed.
Yes.
Whatever number you look at, there's anywhere between 14 million to 24 million people unemployed today.
Absolutely true.
And the mission of our show is to inspire and educate our viewers and to give them tools and strategies on a weekly basis that they can go use immediately to help improve their personal and professional life. So as we talk about riches within, let's do it in such a fashion where we want the viewers watching, man, how is this going to make a difference with me? I'm having difficulty right now making a mortgage payment. So what can we share with our viewers that will put them on a path, and the path that we want them to be on solidly by the time we conclude the show today is that they do have a worth. So that's a whole bunch of stuff, and I know you got a lot to say about that.
It's a great topic. And I think the answer that I would offer is just as valid for the person who doesn't have a job and is having trouble making their payment, be it mortgage or rent, and the person who is very wealthy. The key is, how do you find that place within yourself that will empower you, that will create for you this sense of who I am is worthy. I know I can get a job. I know I can keep a job. I know that within me is this power and creativity and vitality and awareness that will take me into the world and allow me to create wealth, abundance, creativity, because success and wealth is more about who we are than what we own or what we do.
You know, those words are so powerful. But as I think about the unemployed, and I can't get away from the unemployed right now, because that's such a sore spot with me, and that's probably another show to talk about the politics behind it. But I think it's unacceptable that we have the unemployed that we do. I also think it's unacceptable for the people to become a victim. Our last week's show with, if anybody, if viewers saw it, we got a lot of feedback. A guest was Susan Barrich, and was talking about not being a victim, and her son was killed in a DUI accident, and how she chose to take that journey. Well, a lot of folks today will choose to become a victim because that's kind of the easy way out.
I understand.
Okay, so as we give them some tools, what would be the first thing that you would say to our viewers now? Do this one thing. Start here. What would that be? To be able to say, man, I am worthy. I can make my circumstances better than it is. And it all starts with me. What's going to get them off the couch to do that?
What gets us off the couch into activity, into success, is connecting to what I call the adult within. The adult within is that part of our mind that accesses this infinite bank account. There are hurt parts from our past. We could call them the hurt child, the adapted personality, that have in some way given up. They think, I can't do this. But we're not that part. We may feel it, but the key is don't accept that that's you. It's not you. It's a temporary emotion that's stuck in your subconscious, stuck in your body. You can unload that emotion, release that perspective, and when you do, you will get back to that adult that says, I can find a job. I know that I have within myself the capacity to earn money, to help a corporation, or to start a job for myself, be an entrepreneur. The key is don't let yourself be stuck in the old emotion and the old perspective. And that's the work that I do. How do you do that? That's what I teach people.
We're going to have to get a break in very, very shortly. You say, this is what I do, this is what I teach people. I know from a radio show that we've done together, some other things. You used the term of the basement.
Yes.
So when we come back from the break that we got again, and I want to talk about that a little bit more.
That would be great.
If we will, the basement and what we mean by that. And also to dig down further and just incorporate this word law of attraction.
Yes.
And as I say that, I say it sometime, I go, because there's a lot of folks around the world that, in my opinion, that has misused the law of attraction.
Understood.
It's been abused. So we come back after this message, just drill down on it a little bit more. So we'll be back right after this message.
Are you looking for a clarity of purpose? Are you a recent college graduate, unemployed, an entrepreneur, or considering a career change? A business owner or employee struggling with performance issues? Launching soon, the worldwide phenomenon, What's My Purpose Life Mastery Course 2.0. What's My Purpose Life Mastery Course 2.0 can help you define your goals and vision. Start living your life on purpose. Living on purpose is all about joy. Living on purpose is about intention. Living on purpose is about personal transformation and continued growth. What's My Purpose Life Mastery Course 2.0 is a 12-week challenging course that helps you address finances, relationships, spiritual growth, physical and mental health. You'll reclaim your personal power and get your life on track to attain true success. What's My Purpose Life Mastery Course 2.0 launches soon. Learn more and register at whatsmypurpose.com/V2. That's whatsmypurpose.com/V2.
We're back with Dr. Moss. Prior to break, we were talking about the riches within. And just as we were going to break, I was talking to Dr. Moss about this, talk about a term that he used in the basement and also stress. And so it's tied the two of those together. What do you mean by we have stuff in the basement, and then let's talk about stress associated with that?
The best way to start talking about the basement is to say that there's a conscious mind and a subconscious mind. The conscious mind is believed to process about 14 bits of information per second. What I'm wearing, what I'm hearing, what I'm saying, it's about 14 bits of information. The subconscious is said to process about 40 million bits of information per second. So the subconscious or unconscious, and I use the term interchangeably, is in effect the power source of the mind. Now, every experience that we've ever had has been put into the subconscious. So
the moment we're born, if I may do, the
even
moment
before,
we come out,
even before,
and that's the point I want to
in
make.
utero,
even in utero, we start developing before we ever take our first breath.
Yes, absolutely. A child will experience its mother's thoughts and emotions in utero. So these are stored up, they exist in the subconscious. There are people that can remember their mother's thoughts and emotions. So everything that happens to us gets dealt with or not. So let's say there's a child and mother is very critical. That child cannot help but develop a sense that they're unworthy because they have no ability to think outside of that experience. Mother is sort of godlike, or father. So that child can't deal with that sense of unworthiness. What they do is they push it into the subconscious, because if they're dealing with it all the time, it's overwhelming. So it lives in the subconscious, in the basement, until we go back and get it. Just like anything that we put in the basement, if we haven't dealt with it, it's still there 20, 30, 40 years later. We have to go back, get the stuff out of the basement.
Over 40 years in my practice, and I know we've been at this game about the same amount of time.
We have.
I want to make sure that our viewers are really understanding that if you do not address the baggage, my term,
The baggage.
the basement, you're going to stay in that position of I'm not good enough,
Yes.
I'm not wealthy enough,
Or it's my fault.
or it's my fault, I'm not worthy
Yes.
to have success.
That's it.
Those things. So
That's it.
that's the biggest gift that I think our viewers could give themselves for this holiday season.
Is liberate their mind from their basement and be that powerful adult that we really are. That stuff in the basement sits over that infinite bank account.
Love it, Rick.
And when we clear it away, we experience that. We feel that peace, that rest, that awareness, that capacity, that goodness. It's all there waiting for us.
And stress. If we don't
Stress.
do it, stress. And I might add, I don't know when the camera can pick this up, was a nice piece here in the local paper, Monterey Herald, right?
In the magazine section called Health Matters.
Health Matters. And in our latter segments of the show today, we have a great health nutritionist, fitness, Janel Willette. And she's going to talk to us more about health and fitness
You're
and
in for a
nutrition.
treat.
I know, she's phenomenal. But all of these resources are available. And you have a website that has a lot of great resources for our viewers as well.
I
What
do.
is that?
The thing is that it's free, and that people who feel that they're stuck and don't have the money to go to therapy can use this site for free. And it's Essential Pathways, all one word, ESSENTIAL, pathways.com. And you can do the pathways, which are clearing exercises to remove the blockages, get you back into center, into the adult. You can do what are called inner oracle cards to tell you what's up for you and how to clear it. There's a lot on there. You could spend weeks for free.
Great website. And it's great that you're making this information available.
Thank you.
For the viewers. But, and there's always a but here, because I'm always trying to put myself which is not a good thing to do, put myself in another person's mind. But what I mean by that is fear is another big barrier
Oh, yes.
that most of us living, breathing DNA folks have.
Yeah.
And fear will stop a lot of people from even going to your website to get the free information to help themselves to become better.
The key about fear is that there are two aspects to fear. There's the adult fear, which is, I'm not going to walk out in the road. I'm not going to walk down this street on a dark night.
Right.
That's appropriate. But on top of that, we carry our child fear. And so we have two layers. We've got to clear off the child fear so that we can function appropriately with adult fear.
And that's big, because that comes back to the basement as well, right?
That's the basement.
That's the basement that we're carrying around, and we got to get rid of that before we can open up to, I'm going to use the word growth.
I like it. Now,
Okay.
stress,
Sure.
as
Sure.
you asked, to
Right.
link them together.
Right.
Hans Selye was the world authority on stress, and one way he described it was putting your foot on the and the brake at the same time. So you're trying to move forward and you're trying to stop.
Love that visual.
Boy, that does it, doesn't it?
Right.
So that stress, what makes you put your foot on the brake is from the basement.
Mm-hmm.
As we clear away that fear, that stuff from the past, we just settle down and we can then put the pedal to the metal and move forward in our life without fearing, oh my God, they're going to think I'm terrible, they're going to like my mother, all this is coming from the subconscious. We don't know we're thinking it. That's what's so frustrating. But we are. And it's a leash. And that leash is very stressful.
It is very stressful. And as I was listening to you, Rick, I kind of went on a mental journey for a moment, which is not a good thing to do on live television. But I was thinking because it's so important that people accept the liberation and know that there is another way, and that is getting rid of the basement, right?
Yes.
So we got to get in a quick break, and right after this message, we'll be back and talk about more about stress and law of attraction with Dr. Moss. We'll be right back.
This segment is brought to you by Circle of Success, a dynamic, year-long intensive management and leadership development process designed to help individuals and organizations reach their goals quickly. A customized process addressing specific needs and identifying the critical opportunities particular to the individual and organization, with results measured in increased revenue, increased net profits, and increased equity. The Circle of Success, inspiring excellence in people. At jlwhiteinternational.com/circles.
We're back with Dr. Moss, and we've been talking about the riches within. We've talked about the basement. We've talked about stress. We've talked about fear, and all of these things are extremely important. Rick, it's now talk a little bit more about success.
Great.
Success is a big barrier as well for a lot of folks. And the fear of success?
Yes.
What can you share about fear of success?
It touches on the basement again,
Right.
Jim. My clients both have fear of success and fear of failure.
Right.
And the fear of success ties into the feeling that if I'm successful, I'm going to open myself up and people are going to see the real me. And then they're not going to like it. They're going to walk away. So if I get too big, I'm really exposed. And so they contract to try and protect what's in the basement, not even necessarily knowing what's in the basement. They know they can't be open. They have to be guarded. They have to have a persona. They have to appear a certain way.
Appear.
Appear. The fear of failure, same thing. They've learned from mother-father experience or sibling experience, ideas that they're not enough. They're not lovable just as they are. They have to be different. And then they go into a despair.
You know, a lot of our viewers, probably right now, viewing the program and saying, man, that's all good, but how can I give this some traction? Let's talk a little bit about law of attraction, which is a show, many shows.
Yes.
But the law of attraction, what is it?
The law of attraction says that your thoughts attract experiences to you, that the world is like a mirror to your mind. Now that, for a lot of people, can be pretty hypothetical, so let's make it really practical, right? Mm-hmm. Let's say that your subconscious is a computer, and the software are your beliefs. Well, those beliefs are going to have a printout, a life experience. And if you want to change that life experience, you have to change the beliefs. You have to change the software. And that's somehow understandable, that we can't just change a printout. We've got to change the software.
I love what you just laid out. I get this huge image. It's like updating our computer or software, right?
That's
Getting
That's
updates.
Yes, that's
Well,
it.
everybody understands that terminology. So it's the same thing that we're doing when we shift our awareness. We must shift our awareness. That's upgrading our software. Well, if we know that we need to do that on a weekly basis for our computers to run, and we ignore self,
Yes.
and to me, that's the biggest bridge that we could offer today to allow people to have freedom and know that you can upgrade your software, and you're not broken to the point that you can never do that.
There's no time that we can't change that software. It is remarkably simple. I know that sounds ridiculous, but it is because of one thing. Through visualization, we can find out where the belief is, and the subconscious has difficulty in telling the difference between real and imagined. That being so, we can go there, we can work a different script into the subconscious, and the subconscious will believe it. And that is the key to changing the software, I believe.
What Dr. Boss just shared, it's so powerful. It's so powerful. And for the viewers, know that you can.
Absolutely.
And if they will just take that first step, it's kind of like I'm pleading here, right? I am. Take that first step, and that first step is going to that website that you gave earlier, and we'll make a link to your website on our website so people can find it very easily. Wow. I love this stuff. Have I said that? Yeah, I just
Me
love
too.
what we're doing, and I just appreciate you so much, Rick, and just sharing. You got such wealth of knowledge. We have 3 or 4 minutes left in our segment. I'd like to just pick up on visualization for a moment.
Great.
And the power. Let's talk about that a little. The power of visualization. And how, again, this is so simple, and this is the reason a lot of people have difficulty with it, thinking, well, that's too simple to be effective. So power of visualization.
I know that you have another guest, Janel Willette, who
Right.
is a world champion. And she would be a good one to correlate this idea that athletes prepare
Right.
by thinking and visualizing before they do an event.
Have the end in mind.
And then their body records. If they're skiing down a slope in their mind, their body will record as if they were actually doing it. So we're all, in a way, athletes that need this ability. And what we do through visualization is that we find those parts that feel alienated and unlovable, and we come back and we reparent them. We give them the attention and love that they didn't get. And lo and behold, that energy, that love, that care, that attention is enough to pop that bubble. Because all these bubbles from the past, they contain two things. What we call an inner child is nothing but a bubble of emotion and perspective. And that will be popped by what you do as that loving adult, bringing care to that part of your mind. There it goes. And you start to recognize you're the adult, not the wound.
Yeah. As you were sharing that, you could see this huge grin all over my face. And for the viewers, it's because it's so true, the power and the ability to utilize all of these tools that we've talked about thus far. And to know that you have the power. And I've said that 3 or 4 times in many different ways.
That's the key.
You know, we got about 2 minutes left, and we could do this for hours.
I would like to.
I would like to as well. Some of the things that we have in the planning as we go forward for us to show here at KYMB TV, Comcast Channel 19, is to be able to continue to maybe have a live audience so we can just get people in and do real
I'd love to walk
clearance.
walk someone through it, show you the possibility of how quickly that basement material can disappear.
Yeah. And you have a clearing. And what is a clearing first? And we don't have enough time today for a clearing.
We won't do it, but I'll explain it.
Explain. What is a clearing?
A clearing is finding the limiting belief that exists in the subconscious and the retained emotion that's in that bubble, and bringing adult awareness, bringing love, bringing the truth right to that illusion and popping it. And it clears out of the subconscious and it's gone forever. And there is a bigger pathway to that inherent nature, to that bank account that is available from that moment on.
Wow. Wow. Law of attraction also says you get exactly what you're feeling.
Yes.
You get exactly what you're feeling. So if you're feeling like the world is going to be bad tomorrow, the world is going to be bad tomorrow.
You pull it right in, suck it in.
The universe will give you what you ask for.
But not just consciously.
Not just consciously.
That's where the law of attraction didn't take the next step.
Absolutely. You're good.
So are you, my friend.
Okay, you're good. And that's what I was alluding to earlier. And you know where I was going with that.
I did.
And see, we didn't rehearse this either, folks. You know, this is just good stuff. Wow. Awareness. It's important to feel good. It's okay to know that we're not perfect.
Absolutely. Perfectly imperfect.
Perfectly imperfect. And to know that it's okay. So one more time before website.
EssentialPathways.com. You can go on there. I have CDs that you can download. You can do stuff for free. It's a wonderful journey.
It is a wonderful journey, and so are you, my friend.
Thank you.
It's so good to see you. It's, every time we get together, it's a journey, and it's one. I mean, even having lunch, we will go to this place, and it's such a pleasure. And thank you for being on the show today.
Thank you, Jim.
Okay. We'll be right back after this message. You're watching KYMB TV, Comcast Channel 19. We'll be right back after this message.
Business is constantly changing. The challenges of the 21st century have never been greater. There is competition in every field, and technology is more fluid than ever. Bold, innovative thinking is needed. Organizations and individuals are looking for leadership, opportunity, and a way to grow. That way is finally here.
I love teaching. I love sharing. I love sharing from the heart, connecting what I call the heart to the head.
Hundreds of companies and thousands of people have been inspired by one man.
Even from nothing you can accomplish if you have the will, if you have the perseverance, if you will work hard on setting goals and achieving those goals and holding yourself accountable to each and every one of those goals.
Jim White has dedicated his life to inspiring excellence in people.
A+. The man was knowledgeable. He had lived everything he talked about. He was extremely sincere. He was succinct, and he was inspirational.
He's given me some thought and some ideas on how to reset my goals and how to restructure my life.
A hugely successful businessman himself, Jim decided years ago to share his knowledge. Over the past 30 years, Jim White has mentored everyone from Fortune 500 CEOs to small business owners. He has helped numerous companies and individuals achieve their financial and personal goals. His circle of success is a blueprint for excellence and achievement.
I got the strong feeling that Mr. White was speaking from a huge amount of experience built up over the decades, which I think adds a lot of dimension to this kind of a seminar.
Wants to make you get up and do something tomorrow about changing your life.
J.L. White International is a management consulting and leadership development organization. Through workshops and one-to-one training, Jim and his staff have inspired audiences all over the country and have been able to achieve remarkable results by focusing on human capital and designing customized solutions to increase revenue and productivity. J.L. White International is guaranteed to inspire excellence. Isn't it time you discovered what true excellence in business is really like?
Welcome back. Well, Dr. Moss, what a treat he is. It's always a pleasure to share information with Dr. Moss. And as we said, we have another great part of the team with Dr. Moss, and that's Janel Willette.
Thank you. It's great
Janelle, I tell you what, I was so excited when we were back and forth on emails and trying to work. So you are here. I'm excited. Your story is phenomenal. You are this world-class athlete, and as we rewind a little bit, you woke up one day and said, hey, I don't like my body and what I am. So let's talk about that. And then we'll talk about what you mean by bringing balance and everything's got to be together and synergy and those type of things. That's a lot of stuff to talk about in 2 sessions.
It is.
Okay. So you started your career as an athlete. Tell us about that. I mean, you've done some great stuff there. So.
Yeah, well, of course, I started one day. It was a very dark, gray winter day, and it was so cold. I was indoors, regretted the fact that I had a ceiling over my head because I loved the outdoors. And it was a time that I was overweight, I was depressed, and I did not have passion in my life. And pretty much everywhere I looked, it was not something that was fulfilling to me. And as I was cycling, I saw the Ironman on television. It was being replayed by a gentleman, Mark Allen, who had become a great athlete, and he just couldn't win the Ironman, which he was looking to do. And the Ironman is an ultra distance event. So it was something that really drew me in because I could see that the power and the energy that one needed to bring forward to do something of ultra distance would need to bring something more than what I knew I was to the race course, to myself, through myself. And so the Ironman is a 2.5-mile swim. It's a 112-mile bike, followed by a marathon and 26.2-mile run. And so it's sort of like a sunrise to sunset event.
And you actually volunteer to do this?
And
nobody's forcing you to do it?
I thought, gosh, you know what?
It's got to be a force.
If there's something greater than me, in me, that hasn't come out, I will certainly know if she arrives on this race course and do this. And at that time, I was phobic of the water. I couldn't swim. And I just started running and doing a little bit of biking. But I had so much yearning within me to be the one that this deep part of me knew I was, that I wasn't living out. And I could feel how the pain, it's like the bud that was so tightly ingrained in my being that couldn't get out and blossom. And the yearning for that was great enough to just overcome obstacles and find my way, start losing weight. And I did it in a slow way of discovering what real food would do to bring me energy, a sense of well-being, and the body that gave me the high-octane fuel to begin this journey.
In your work, you call it synergy?
I do.
Synergy and the body. So you're dealing with your clients, you're doing nutrition, exercise regimens. That's the type of thing that you do?
Yes.
Well, we're in this holiday season.
We are.
So what could we offer our viewers
Sure.
that they could do between the pies
Yes.
in order to not only reduce their stress, and continue to build on what Dr. Moss and I were talking about earlier, and that's the riches within.
Yes.
Well, we've got to keep the body healthy in order to enjoy that. So it's all got to be working together, right?
Yes.
So what could we offer? And then we will have a break coming up shortly, and then maybe after the break, you could demonstrate some things that folks could do at home during that. So, but prior to that, and I'm going to quote, by bringing balance to your body, you will balance your emotions, mind, and spirit.
Exactly. Right. Because how we show up every day, every minute, is really coming from within, coming from this house that is holding within us our emotions, our mental, our physical being, all that within the house of the body. So to attention the body is really to attention everything. And so to begin by getting enough sleep, if you can. Sleep in, take a nap, take a little 10-minute, just a silent break in the middle of your day to just let your body sort of regroup and re-energize is very, very helpful, because it's so important for all of our organs, our systems, and our mind to have the appropriate rest so that everything can function in a beautiful synergistic way inside. Because as we begin to function while inside, everything outside of us becomes more clear and readily available to us. I.e., if you wake up and you're not super tired, you're not going to crave the coffee, the sweets, and the things that artificially fuel the energy.
I want to make sure I understood it. You said if you wake up, if you are not super tired.
Right. You may not be as apt to go for those sorts of foods, and
because those foods give you what? I mean, if you have a craving for all the sweets, and you wake up and got 2 hours sleep, and then you go.
Right.
So what's that?
So most people are going for artificial ways of giving ourselves energy. And so there's such a cycle of that, and it can be really come to a higher point when we're in the holidays, when we're eating foods and not moving as much, and there's stress. So by giving ourselves a little bit of sleep, a little bit more sleep can help. And then being aware of what we're putting in our bodies. And really, the simple thing is, the closer the foods to the essence of nature, the better. I.e., eating an apple versus an apple pie, apple versus apple juice, things that grow, things that swim, things that are of nature, really do nurture our natural nature in a much more synchronistically balanced way. And that's the way our bodies are designed. So during the season when we have the chance to have really balanced meals that give us all the nutrients from nature, and whatever those favorite foods are is very individual, but it gives us the set point within ourselves to keep our metabolism moving and our energy functioning in a natural way, versus the caffeine, the sugar, and the things that artificially bring us into a way that we look for energy and we don't get it, so we keep looking. And it's this ongoing cycle, and it can become quite addictive.
Is there a rule of thumb, and I know everybody's different, but for our viewers, is there a rule of thumb how much sleep you should get, or how much water you should drink, or how much, I mean, what can we share? Because, I mean, we cannot pick up a magazine or see some type of show, and I was talking about nutrition, and everybody's got a spin on nutrition, right?
Everybody's got a spin.
Got a spin on it. And for me, what's the right spin? Because I love sweets. That's my biggest thing. I love sweets. Yeah. And I'm going to take the apple pie over to apple. So I got to switch that up a little bit, which I've been doing. And I want to share that. I've lost 50 pounds in the past 9 months.
Extraordinary.
Yeah, I don't know if you know that. Yeah.
And how do you feel now?
I tell you.
That's different.
I feel wonderful. And you know what triggered it? I went to my son's graduation. He graduated from UCLA in June. He took a photograph. I looked, I said, who is occupying that body? It was me. I could not believe, with the work that I do, and certainly support it, that the teacher allowed himself to get out of control as it related to the weight. I was devastated.
Yeah.
And I was devastated because in our work, you've got to do. I mean, that's the reason we talk about. We've got to do the things that we teach, right?
Exactly.
We believe.
Forever
And
the
so,
student.
Yeah, forever. Yeah, exactly. And I was so devastated. Then I said, what am I going to do about it? So I started making huge changes to my life. And now I feel great. And we got to get a break in. We'll come back and we'll talk about it a little bit. And you're going to demonstrate some things that the folks at home can do during this holiday season, right?
I'd love to do that.
Okay. So, as we move to break, we'll leave you with this thought. Dr. Moss had talked about the basement and the importance of that and shedding it. What we really want all the viewers to realize today, we're talking about nutrition, we're talking about getting rid of stress and balancing stress and just accepting self and dealing with the fear and all of the things that we have. This is our gift that we want to give all of our viewers during this season. So we'll be right back after this break. You're watching KYMB TV, Comcast Channel 19. We will be right back.
This segment is brought to you by 12 O'Clock High Leadership and Management Summit. 12 O'Clock High is one of the undisputed best movie classics of all time. It is also one of the best business learning tools available. The movie rated #1 by top executives for its influence on their management styles. Now, the inspiration of the 12 O'Clock High Leadership and Management Summit, an innovative one-day event and 30-day follow-up where you will quickly see what's working and not working on the front lines of your company and in your own leadership style. Learn more at 12high.com. That's 12high.com.
Okay, we're back with Janel. Janelle is going to demonstrate some things that you can do at home, right? I mean, these are easy things to do,
Wherever
right?
you are.
So wherever you are.
Yes.
That's great. And you also have a wonderful website too. Before I forget it, can you share your website?
Sure. The website is Synergy by Janel, SYNERGYBYJANEL.
That's and I encourage you to go to that website because I mean you've got some stuff on there that you can actually take an assessment
Yes.
and to be able to tailor a program specifically for that individual, right?
Exactly that. Yeah, you'll fill out a questionnaire of what your intention is. Maybe you have an area that is a bit of an obstacle, lower back, shoulder, something that you mention what that is, and then you mention how long you want to work out and what your limitations are and what props or equipment that you have available to you, and I will then create a program, email it to you, and you can download it through your computer, your laptop, your iPod, iPhone, etc., etc.
Okay, that's great. So what are you going to share today?
Yeah. What I'd love to do is show a few things on the physio ball, which I'm sitting on. And most people have a physio ball, and they don't really know what to do. They sit on it, maybe they play at their desk a little bit, but most people know what a physio ball is. And so it's so fun to be creative and really use it in a way that you can use your own strength to create stretch. Because when you create space within the self, there's more accessibility, i.e. when you're all crunched up, your lungs, your diaphragm, and your heart are caved in. But with a little more expansion, creating space and having the strength to hold this body in this position, there's more grace and ease. There's more availability to be present. And even going into the business world, when you have a posture and a presence that you embody, the world around notices.
I love what you just said because all of the sessions I do coaching, I say walk into that room like you own it and you have an image, and it's the way you walk, talk, and carry yourself, and that's what you're saying for the body.
And it all comes from within.
All within. Everything we've been talking about for the past 50 minutes is within, right?
So we want to discover and unveil the jewel, right? As I mentioned a little bit with my process. And realize, wow, what's living inside of here that's not living out in the world. And so to bring that out and really create space for that. So there's one exercise that's really fun to do, and I love to do it in the morning or after I'm sitting in a chair too long or a car too long. It's called contemplation. And it really is just sitting on the edge of the ball, and your forearms are on your lap, and by pushing back, almost like a rocking chair, and I look down as I stretch my hamstrings, the back of my legs, the forearms are relaxed into the thigh, and I'm rounding my back looking down. As I come forward, the shoulders rolling back, taking the tension out of the shoulders, and using the middle back muscles as I'm coming forward, which keeps the posture upright. So we're rolling back, pulling the toes up, opening through the hamstrings, letting the low back, upper back, middle back, and even the head and neck stretch. Gliding in as you inhale, coming back, letting the shoulders relax. In a way, your core is really guiding this motion, rolling the ball back, and the rest of you is following what your core is leading. Coming forward, inhale. So about 4 or 5 of those is great. And the more you do the movement, your body sort of moves in a way that's very organic, i.e. if you have one hip that's tighter than the other, the ball is very forgiving and allows and honors the body wherever it is. And that's one thing that I find very unique with the work that I share, is that it allows each person to be exactly where they are and get their optimal amount of benefit.
You know, as you were going through that exercise, Janel,
Yes.
I could not help but think about all the people that are sitting in those cubicles on the keyboard.
Yeah.
Is there some things that you could share that you could do even at your desk?
Exactly that. So here I am sitting at my desk. And a lot of people have balls either as a chair, because if I'm sitting upright and I'm at my keyboard, because the virtue of the ball keeps my body in position. So in a way, my core muscles are always active. When the core muscles are active, it brings the shoulders into alignment, and you can sort of notice and feel that the bones are stacked. And when your bones, your infrastructure is stacked, it's very auspicious for all of your system and organs to work correctly. So now my muscles in my back are active, my muscles in the core are active, and my hips are relaxed. So I'm not adding tightness to my body by sitting here doing the work I'm doing. Right, so let's say you want to take a little break. You bring your hands onto the desktop as you're sitting there, similar to the contemplation. Just roll back, letting your back open and expand. We all know what gravity does to the body after too many hours, and just bring your body up and feeling that lift. Roll back, push back, and stretch back.
You mentioned gravity. That's what I was talking about when I saw in my photograph that gravity had done to my stomach. I said, what is this gravity all about, right?
How did it all end
How
up
did
here?
that gravity get right in the middle of my stomach?
Right, yeah. So let me just add, too, a little bit about the core. And the core muscle is almost like we have this imaginary clock here, which is sort of our bullseye. Actually, our power center as well.
Very much
so. What is covering up our power center? And we can all just ask ourselves that, inquire within, literally and figuratively, right?
Right.
And just like, wow, why am I masking my power? And I may not even know that I'm doing it. So I work energetically as well and help people track. Why am I caving in at my heart? And my body is assuming a posture of protecting the heart or keeping ourselves from our own power. Because if we're limited in our body, we're limited to access our potential and share that potential with the world. And so your body is really your house in this lifetime. And if you don't take care of that house, where will we live? Yeah. And it's so
I love that visual. It is our house. And if you were the other segment with Dr. Moss, we were talking about the basement. So I'm looking at the house and I'm looking at the basement. Right? So we got all the stuff in the basement, which is going to affect our house, the body.
Yes.
It all comes together, right?
It does.
I don't know if you have any numbers, and I'm not trying to blindside you in any regard here, but first thing come to mind was how much money corporate America and the Western civilization spend on medications where, in fact, doing the clearings, taking care of the house. There's a huge savings that it's available not only for the individual but for corporate America as well.
Absolutely. There is so much. And a lot of the work that I do, I call health assurance. Do your health assurance and prevent yourself from needing health insurance. Because if you're using your health insurance, you're not in an optimal state. You're absolutely not. You have insurance there for the reason of insurance, but give yourself a little assurance. And really what I want to demonstrate is how simple and easy it is. A 10-minute walk, 5 or 10 minutes of moving on the ball, and just sort of doing a rotation, opening up the hips, and just revitalizing the body in 30 seconds.
Okay.
And we think it has to be so challenging, so difficult.
Okay. Well, we could do many more segments of this. Once again, before we got to take a break, but your website again, and you have some wonderful videos on there as well. So one more time before we go to break, your website, please.
SynergyByJanel.com. SYNERGYBY Janel. JANEL. Check it out.
Check out that website, and especially the free section there where you can sign up and develop this personal plan for yourself. And I tell you what, you're going to have to come back, because I'd like to do more segments on this, and especially with the corporate America in mind. And I love what you say in the sense that the insurance, if you're using it, then there's something wrong with the house, right?
That's right.
Janelle, you've been great. Thank you so much. And we got to get a quick break in, and you're watching KYMB TV, Comcast Channel 19, and streaming live at jlwcos.tv. We'll be back after this message.
Looking for a clarity of purpose? Are you a recent college graduate, unemployed, an entrepreneur, or considering a career change? A business owner or employee struggling with performance issues? Launching soon, the worldwide phenomenon, What's My Purpose Life Mastery Course 2.0. What's My Purpose Life Mastery Course 2.0 can help you define your goals and vision. Start living your life on purpose. Living on purpose is all about joy. Living on purpose is about intention. Living on purpose is about personal transformation and continued growth. What's My Purpose Life Mastery Course 2.0 is a 12-week challenging course that helps you address finances, relationships, spiritual growth, physical and mental health. You'll reclaim your personal power and get your life on track to attain true success. What's My Purpose Life Mastery Course 2.0 launches soon. Learn more and register at whatsmypurpose.com/V2. That's whatsmypurpose.com/V2.
Welcome back. Boy, the hour just flies by, and all the great information from both our guests today. And we encourage you to visit their websites. Both of these wonderful, talented people are here to support you in your journey. And I so appreciate them taking the time to come and share with us today. And I'm going to leave you with these thoughts. And I started off the segment at the beginning of the show cautioning about all the stuff, buying the stuff, balancing the stress. I would encourage you to take this into consideration. Spend within your means this season. And we're coming back next Monday, and we got another guest that we're going to be spending some time on the business segment, if you will. But I want to leave you with this thought. The universe likes speed, and what we mean by that, when you see it, you got to take action. None of these tools that we've shared with you today are going to happen unless you make a decision that you're going to make a commitment. As Janelle says, put your house in order. And as Dr. Moss says, get your stuff out of the basement, if you will. So once again, I just encourage you to visit both of the websites and join us next week. Like I said, we'll be back the same time next week. And you have been watching KYMB TV, Comcast Channel 19. And we stream live currently in over 200 countries at jlwcos.tv. So until next week, make it a great week, and we'll talk to you next Monday.
This has been Jim White's Circle of Success Show. Please visit our website, jlwcos.tv. Join us next time as Jim White brings it all together on Jim White's Circle of Success.